Hey team, on the couch, Brent Gray from Ashburton Intermediate.
Thanks, Soups.
Great story with Malcolm Hotwood in the paper. For those that missed it, you've got an interesting mission coming up, a 10-week mission. Tell us about what you're up to.
Yeah, well, thanks, Soups. I've been awarded a primary principal's sabbatical. So a sabbatical is something that you apply for. It's ministry funded, and basically after 5 years in principalship, people can apply. I've been in the game for about 12 now, I think, and that time goes really fast. But it's a chance to do a little bit of study and a little bit of refreshment leave. So yeah, it's meant to be about 50-50 and you manage your time accordingly. So yeah, pretty exciting. And you had to jump through the hoops to get that money and get that funding for that. So you apply. There's only about 170 given out a year, and there's 2,500 principals across the country. So yeah, you do go into a bit of a pool for that. So yeah, I applied and looking at how to engage Pacifica parents in their children's schooling.
Okay, so what was the driving force behind that?
Yeah, well, obviously we've got a growing number of Pacifica families in the community, and our role at school is just over 450 at the moment, but 70 of those students are Pacifica students. So they're a growing group and a great group in our community, in our school community, and they also bring a bit of flavour to the place. And yeah, we've got some great students among them. In fact, 4 out of our 8 school leaders this year hail from
Wow.
Pacifica backgrounds, and yeah, they just bring something pretty special to the school.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so were you concerned that there was some cracks that needed filling as far as the education goes?
Yeah, it's not a little bit of that. So obviously the thing that you hear a lot about in the media at the moment is attendance at school. And would you believe, even at Ashburton Intermediate, we want children to be attending 90 to 100% of the time. During term 1 and 2, we only had about 54% of our school that were reaching that target. Wow. So by the time it went to the next step down, 80 to 90, we were in total just over 80%. But we're trying to get those numbers back up there. Our Pacifica students, that basically mirrors what the whole school does. So again, when I showed those figures, we had a whānau, a hui at school just before the end of last term. And the whole idea was to get some parents along and have a chat to them and make them feel comfortable in school. And then the theme of that night was a little bit around attendance, and then we gave the students a bit of paper to go back to their parents while they were there that night and talk to their parents about the kind of things that they prioritise in their lives and what we needed to know about how their family and how their culture functions to try and make life a little bit easier for us and for them at school. So yeah, attendance is one of those things. One of the key things that came out of that is that they're very church focused. So God is first in their lives. Secondly, it's around looking after their elders, and then school was third. So yeah, it's good to have an understanding of that. Obviously, a number of our Pacifica families here because they're working at places like Ansco, Tallies, etc. So in that food industry, and a lot of that involves shift work. And so if parents are on shift work and a younger family member is unwell, then the kids at our place are the ones that might have to stay home. So right. It's getting an understanding of why the students might be away, how we can help that. We've now got a Pacifica lady on our board of trustees, which is giving us some good insight into that, and she's then able to take some of those key messages back to that community and look at how she can help and facilitate that as well. But look, they're a very proud group of people. They love their family, they love their students. All they want to know is my child doing well? Mm-hmm. But it's how we can then help them to help their children more, and I guess learn what their aspirations are for their children and what they want for them.
Awesome. All right, so after the 10 weeks, do you then have to present to the ministry, or what's the goal?
Yeah, so you do. You have to present a sabbatical report that just gets filed back to the ministry. I've also made a commitment to make sure that all the people that I'm surveying, so I'm also on an Auckland Pacifica Principals group, are running some professional development called Tō Ola Moana, which is about connections with Pacifica people. And through that work, I've met a network of people, mainly South Island, but a few from the Lower North Island. And so part of that work is I'm surveying them. So I've said to them, hey, if you give me that, I'll flick you back the data that I've been looking at. And then, of course, it'll go back to our Board of Trustees, as well as I'll make a commitment to share it with our Canterbury Intermediate School Principals Group.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and a chance also for you to, get all the principals around Mid Canterbury together and talk about findings and things?
So currently I'm the chair of the Mid Canterbury Principals Association as well. So there'll be a chance to share that with them, and I'll make that available. Obviously, if we've got 70 odd Pacifica students, then there's a number of them in our primary schools as well, and obviously at Ashburton College. So all of that information hopefully will be useful to them, and they'll have a quick read and be able to tell me that, hey, we're doing this anyway, or didn't you know that, Brent, or hey, or let's have another chat about this. So
brilliant. Yeah. All right, Sounds intriguing. Love to catch up with you afterwards and see how it all goes.
Yeah, thanks very much.